Hey there, I'm Junie, and today we're going to be taking a look at Astrea Six-Sided Oracles, a new dice builder that I'm really excited to be checking out today. So let's hop right in. Game. And we got character select. We're going to play as Mooney, the Astral Disciple. Their complexity is super basic. Their profession is academic. Astrarium is Noxuan Grimoire, come from the planet Noctua. Coming from a lineage of scholars, Mooney has always searched for the lost knowledge of the star system. Her Astrarium has been passed down through generations as a family relic. With her wisdom, she is capable of improving dice and turning adversity into an advantage. So it looks like characters are going to level up. At some point we're going to unlock some new things to start with, I guess. So let's play as Mooney. I've tried the demo of this game. I really love the art style, really love the mechanics, and we're right into it. So we're in the Tainted Reef, and oh my Astrea! What am I supposed to do? What's happening? My dear friend got corrupted. There is nothing I can do. I can't save her. Wait, who are you? What are you doing here? No one comes to this doomed planet. I'm Mooney. I was called to Aquarius by this grimoire. Grimoire? Wait, this is one of the six-sided oracles Astrariums. If you have this grimoire, it means that you are one of the new oracles. And you can save her. Here she comes. What? Oracle? Love the art style. It's so beautiful. And the little animations are quite nice as well. Oh, my dear friend, how could I let this happen to you? We gotta purify her, fast, before she gets stronger. You will need to learn a few things to purify her. But first, let's draw dice. So, battle start. As stated, this is a dice builder. I actually don't really care too much for dice games, but the mechanics in this are super cool. So, this is your dice hand. You need to use those dice to purify your enemies back to normal. Enemies also roll dice, but they roll the same dice each turn. After you play all your actions, enemies will activate the action that they rolled. These are the main actions of our world: Purify and Corrupt. So the blue and red die. Purify decreases corruption. That means it will damage enemies and heal you. Corrupt is the opposite. It increases corruption, meaning that it heals enemies and damages you. Note that corrupt actions have a red outline. And actions with a red outline are considered mandatory actions and need to be used before you end your turn. Therefore, you must use all corrupt actions before you end your turn. This is the enemy corruption meter, excuse me. It starts fully filled with corruption, and you need to purify it to win the battle. You also have the corruption meter. It starts fully filled with purification. But if your corruption meter gets fully filled with corruption, you will lose one heart. If you lose all your hearts, you'll become corrupted and will lose the game. Let's try to purify her. So it's our turn. We can use these 4 die here. These ones are Purify, deal 3 purification, deal 2. It's our corruption, and these can go to any target. We have to use the corrupted die. So we're going to use those first, since they're already at full health or full corruption. And just get rid of these. And then we can do 5 quote-unquote damage. And then the corrupted antiquarian has a die as well. They rolled player corrupt, deal 2 corruption to you. So they're going to do 2 corruption to me and take down my little purification meter. And our turn. You'll discard our dice from your hand, then enemies will activate their dice. After that, you'll draw 4 dice, and it will be your turn again. So, 2 corruption. Roll some new die. Right-click on this die to view all of its faces. So this face is deal 2 purification to all targets, and that's all this die has, except these ones are 1, these ones are 2. You can right-click on any die to view all its faces. So some die, let's see here, these are great examples, but some die will have like different faces that aren't all the same exact thing. and I'm sure we'll see those pretty shortly. So continuing on, we only have to do 2 purification. Do this. And we win! Oh no! Too late! She's resisting your purification. It's getting stronger. All enemies have an overcorruption meter. When they receive corruption, they get healed, but their overcorruption also increases. Once an enemy's overcorruption meter gets fully filled, they will get overcorrupted and activate the action attached to it immediately. I think you will need to use all your Astrarium power to purify her. As one of the 6-sided oracles, you have the power to use your corruption, or use corruption in your favor. Attached to your corruption meter are actions called virtues. As your corruption increases and passes a virtue, that virtue is enabled to be played. When enabled, virtues can be played just like dice. These virtues can be enabled multiple times per turn. Now, please, purify my dear friend Oracle. You are our only hope. Alright. So, we're starting the battle over, they got a little more HP, and we have a real fight on our hands. So, it's our turn. We now have these virtues that we can utilize. We have a reroll. We roll up to 2 dice from any target. We have Enemy Purify, deal 4 purification to an enemy, and Draw. Draw 1 die. So as we take corruption, or damage if you will, we will enable these. So if we take 1 corruption, the draw, or the reroll will be enabled. 3 corruption, we'll get the purify, and then 5 corruption, we'll get the draw. And we have to balance what they're going to be doing. So they'll do 3 corruption to themselves, and then do 3 to us. And then we have an interesting die here with Player Corrupt, deal 3 corruption to ourselves. So we're going to start out using this. You get these set up. This die is 2 to anything all around. These are 2s and 1s, and then 2s and 1s, and then their die, they only have 2 sides of their die that has the 3 corruption to themselves, which will fill their overcorruption meter. But we're going to try to use the reroll and make this turn into one of the 2. There's a pretty good chance of that happening. And while we're at it, we can try to make this die go from a 1 to a 2. Let's see what we get. And that went really well. We got the 2, and we got the 2. So they're going to put 2 corruption on themselves, basically heal 2 this turn. And we'll do our 4 with the virtue. And with our corruption, I'm actually going to use this on myself and draw another die. And this is pretty good. We got 4 purification to ourselves. And some more damage to them. Nice turn. So they've healed for 2. Their overcorrupt meter went up to 2 of 3. And this virtue is different. At the start of your turn, it will be automatically enabled and can be played only once per turn. So this is Convert. Convert 1 die from your hand until the end of enemy's turn. Convert, change a die with any type of corrupt action into a purify action of the same type. So we have deal 1 corruption to all targets and deal 3 corruption to ourselves. If we use this, for instance, on this one, it'll change it into a player purify, which will then deal 3 purify or purification to ourselves. I'm going to start at this round doing the 1 corrupt to all. That's going to make me end up taking 4 corruption, 1 from this die, and then 3 from filling up their overcorrupt meter. And then that way we're going to be enabled to use our virtues. Overcorrupted, do the 3 corruption to me, and now we have all sorts of stuff to work with. Let's draw a die first. Pretty good die. So we got the re-rolls that we could do. We could get the Purify All up to 2. This has bees on enemy, so we'll just go ahead and toss that over. We have to do 9 more, and we just can't get there this turn. So I think I'm going to re-roll these guys, try to get better rolls. What's on here? Just 3 to myself all around. And didn't look out. So let's convert this one to purify myself for 3. Do purification 1 to all, and another 1 to them, and then next turn we do 1 purification and get our virtue, and we're good to go. Alright. They healed for 2. Gotta do 7, which we're just off of until we use our virtues. So let's corrupt ourselves. Do 4, do 3, or 2, I'm sorry. Change this die. And oh. Very cool. Oh my Astrea, I was so scared. But you did it. She's back. Oh dear. I got corrupted. Again. But I didn't need your help. I am sure I would be able to purify myself at any time. You were doomed. You were about to become one of those things forever. You're exaggerating, Safe. How many times have I got corrupted? I've lost count. But here I am, alive and uncorrupted. Don't mind her. She is just an old grumpy mesa. But you won't believe it. She has the grimoire that belonged to the Noxian Oracle, one of the 6-sided oracles. Say again? How could that be? My brother used to be one of them. That's why I'm here. I don't know. This grimoire has been protected by my family for generations. I feel it is calling me to the Astrea's heart, the source of all corruption. So you know what you must do. You need to go where the Crimson Dawn happens. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Mesa, the Antiquarian. And this little talking sentinel here is Safe, the bellkeeper. We will help you along your journey. If you bring us star shards, we can use them to improve your resources. May Astrea bless you. Thanks, Mooney. Good luck on your journey. Alright, so tutorial over. And nice little introduction to bits of the story. And now we have a normal battle. Normal challenge yields 50 star shards and a chest. So, we can look at some things up here. We have a corruption meter and hearts. We can see our little purification / corruption meter and our virtues. We have a die pool. We can see all the die that are in our pool. And we have some things that we haven't seen yet. And here we can see that some of the dice have multiple different kinds of sides and not just different qualities of the same type of face. Cool. Let's get into a real match and start our journey. Alright, we have 4 corruption we have to dole out to anyone, and then we have a really cool new die that we haven't seen before. So this is an enhanced die. Enhance 1 die from target until the end of enemy's turn. Enhance. Increase a die with any type of purify action with value 1 to 6. So this die, just like it says on the tin, we're going to be able to buff this up from a 1 to a 6 and do 6 purification. So let's see what our enemies have. They have overcorruption of 4. When they hit, they're going to do 3 to us. And then we have 2 and 4 to self. So we can take care of this person, the deformed Sluggian, right now. What do we have here? Crystallized Swirl. So if we enhance this die, and you can drag the die up here, you can also drag it over the one you want to modify, and it kind of puts them both out, which is kind of nice. And hit play, change that into a 6, and do 6 purification here. And then we can corrupt ourselves, get down to our virtue of 4 purification, and purify that guy right on turn 1. And then the 4 corruption to self is going to make them corrupt us 3. This is one of the worst ones, but they have an extra mechanic on these other ones. So these ones do 2 corruption to us, and then apply 2 Shadow Mantle. Shadow Mantle blocks X purification until the end of your next turn. So they'll do 2 corruption, then also put 2 Shadow Mantle, or 3, on these 2 faces. So I'd have to do 3 purification, and then any more on top of that to actually heal back the damage that they'd be doing to me. And then this die has a lot of interesting faces. Purification all enemies, only to an enemy of my choice. to all targets. And so the dies, you'll see like corruption is like this kind of supernova planet look. They have like the stars for purification, and then the backgrounds of the die denote targeting options, which I'm still getting used to. But this little thing pointing to the right is for like enemies, one pointing down is for yourself or themselves. Yeah, so pretty cool way of doing things to give it its own aesthetic and to make things readable at a glance once you get used to what all the symbols are. So we're going to reroll this, and then I think I would also like to reroll their die as well. Alright, so we're going to do one more purification to them. They're going to do 2 corruption to us, and then also put on 2 shadow mantle. So you'll see that this turn, because our corruption meter already had 5, our first 2 virtues just automatically are ready to go. And we rolled a lot of low numbers here. I think we're going to re-roll some of these die. This one gives a re-roll, swirl means, and then on top of the re-roll, we're also going to get a player purify. So if we re-roll at least 1 die, we will give purification to ourselves. So this one is dependent on doing the re-roll. They got one of the better faces on their die, so we'll probably re-roll theirs. And we got quite a ways to go to purify them. Let's draw a die first. That way, if we have something else we might want to re-roll, this could get up to 3 purification instead of just being at 1. This little AoE die I don't really care for, just the numbers are low, but it is nice for doing small little adjustments to them. So, let's take care of Horror Purification. We're going to re-roll some things. I would like to get a better roll on these 2 die. Although that is a lot of Shadow Mantle, I think we'll be able to handle it. Let's try doing these 2. Nice. So we got one better roll here, where we get Purification and Light Shield, which will block Corruption until the start of our next turn. So we can effectively block this 2 Corruption that they're going to put on us. By using these 2 die, get us 2 Light Shield. And then they'll still put on the Shadow Mantle, but we're not going to take any more damage. And then we can also re-roll another die. Nice, got 3 purification there. Do 1 to them, and actually, it's going to go all out, because then we'll have a Virtue next turn, and hopefully just 1 more purification, and we can finish off this battle. Very nice. Don't really have to pay attention to much else, except for the original plan, and we're done. Let's see, a swirl. Alright, we got some star shards, we got 50, top of the 100 we already have, mysterious ore that can be used to manufacture and improve resources, and we have a chest where we can choose up to 2 dice. And now we get into the real meat of the game, choosing die for your deck. So we have the safe die, the balanced die, and the risky die. The risky die here has 4 faces of corruption, but 2 real big hitters on the purification side of things. Out of these options, I'm going to actually choose the balanced. I think this gives best outcomes most often and pretty high values versus the safe one. And it's harder to get those 2 out of 6. I'd rather have a little bit more consistency in what my deck is going to do. We'll take this one, and really cool. So we have a convert die. So we have this as a virtue that we get once per turn, but then we could also get this as a die. I'm not going to take that. I kind of like having it as a virtue, and that way this die doesn't muck up my hand. And I would just do 1 purification or be converting another die, which might be basically I'm working with 3 die for that turn instead of 4. We have the manipulate, gives convert 1 And this converts one die from any target. So I could convert an enemy die. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. The downsides of this dice are pretty intense though. Self-corruption only, or it's area corrupt, so it'll be corrupting me and all enemies. Or I'm sorry, yeah, all targets. And Twilight Sigil, this I think is a really cool option for us. So Twilight Sigil, creatures with Twilight Sigil receive X purification whenever a die is converted. And because we can convert a die once a turn, this turns into consistent damage every turn on a target that we start stacking this up on. From playing the demo, Twilight Sigil doesn't go away after it's applied to a target, and the stacks will just continue to rise. So over time, this is ramping damage that we can get, or scaling damage. And so we're going to take the balance die yet again. Some free star shards here. And another normal battle. Alright. So... nice rolls to start. Got our new balance die hitting on a 4, which is great. And then we have our enhanced die. Not going to do... or actually, this will change this to 6. Use that right away. So, out the gate, we're doing big damage on turn 1. And they are doing just a measly 1. They could roll 0. We're just going to leave it at the 1. We got a 50-50 on getting higher roll. This is a Lost Sentinel, and they have an effect on them called Agony. At the end of its turn, apply 1 Doom to this creature. Doom increases dice corruption value by X. So the more stacks of Doom they have, the more corruption they're going to do. So we want to end this fight as fast as possible. Let's go ahead and do 6 Purification. And we're on our way. We're going to do 1 Corruption to us. We'll do reroll dice with our Virtue. Alright, we got a reroll. We can purify ourselves a little bit. I actually would like to get more corrupted. And the 2 would be great. It'll put us down to the 4 purification. This die can't really get a higher number, and because there's only 1 enemy, I don't care about the AoE effects. We could get to a 3 versus a 2, and then we could get more light shield. I don't really want the light shield on me, but because it blocks corruption, one neat thing is you can purify them. They get the light shield, and if they were corrupting themselves, we would negate part of their corruption. So the mechanics really start to layer on top of themselves in the ways that you want to try to use them, or could try to use them in this game, and it's part of the appeal why I think it's really cool. So let's just play out this fight a little bit and see how we do. I don't really care for this die, to be honest. I mean, I don't need to heal myself or want to, so I'm just going to leave things just as is. Alright. So we got the Twilight Sigil. We don't have a die that we can convert. We do have the Enhance. Now, I don't know if this will enhance the purification. I'm assuming it'll just enhance the purification, not the light shield. But we're going to try this out for science. They have a huge corruption. They rolled a 3 plus 2. Let's try to get that down. Science. Yeah, so it'll just block the 1. And 2, 2, 3, and 3. Actually, we can go this route. Try to get a higher number and get this rolled down. Alright, so we got 1 less, which is nice. But we rolled the corruption. We'll just convert that. I'm actually going to purify myself. Or no, I can finish the battle. 6, 2, 2. Alright, Cleave, doing damage to all targets. All enemies. That's what the red swirly is. This is all targets. The white or kind of yellowish thing around the outside. So that's cool. A little bit of a better AoE option. And then we have Ascend. This will enhance all dice from your hand until end of enemy's turn. Enhance. Increase a die with any type of Purify action with value 1 to 6. So if we had a lot of 1s, we could go real crazy. And then, hopefully, what is this? Increases dice corruption value? I don't know why I would want to put Doom on myself or on an enemy. This is a really cool die, but I don't understand its purpose just yet. And then this, we don't have that many die that are hitting for 1s. I guess we have like the AoE and the shields. These two Stellar Cleanse dice. They all have 1 properties, and it's all purification except for the one side. But then also when we're drawing our hand, we have to have one of those die, or have one of these roll 1, and get this, and have it hit on the enhanced face. Could be pretty cool. Have a lot of 1s here, some 1s here. I guess we have enough 1 purifications to give it a go. Why not? We'll try it out. Oh! Some faces I've never seen before. I only did 2 runs on the demo, one with this character and one with the following character that you unlock. But I haven't seen everything that's available. So here we have Scarlet Sigil. Apply 1 Scarlet Sigil to any target. Scarlet Sigil, creatures with Scarlet Sigil receive X purification whenever you play a risky die. Interesting. Really love that. However, we currently don't have any risky die. And the risk value is denoted by the colors in the corners of the die. You can see that this one has blue rounded edges. This one has green, kind of like some sort of broadsword shape in the corner. And then these have the red triangular corners to denote their risk value. Nocturnal Updraft. So this deals 2 purification to an enemy, deals 3 additional purification for each Doom you have. Okay, so right there we see the purpose for putting Doom on ourselves. We can put Doom on us, which would increase the dice corruption value. Oh! Also, if we increased our corruption value, I'm assuming when we converted a die, I wonder if it would keep that value when it switches to purification. Could be pretty cool. Very, very cool. So this is kind of worthless. This is also worthless. It would really only buff this one die until later on we get more risky die. Currently these are all kind of bad for us. I love the options, but we're going to skip. I'd rather keep my deck a little bit lighter. Random event or ambush leads to star shards. We have a forge shop, a sentinel shop, 2 safe die. Really don't care for the safe die all that much, at least so far. Let's try the random event. And we got the ambush. Alright, this enemy's got a lot of interesting properties. Ooh. And we don't know what side they rolled. Oh, that's cool. So, ambush. At the start of battle, apply infinity hidden to this enemy. Hidden. You can't see when an enemy with hidden rolled, but you can see their die. Rerolling this enemy's die will reveal all its die faces. So I can see all the faces. Will it reveal them? Okay, rerolling it will be hidden infinity, I'm assuming. When our outbreak, when below or equal half of max corruption, 15, apply 2 doom to this enemy. Very spicy. So in the back half of this fight, it's going to get real. Well, I don't have a way to corrupt myself right now, so I can't re-roll their die or any of mine. So we're just gonna have to do what we can. 1, 2, 3, or 1 to all. So let's prevent a little bit. Put Twilight Sigil on them and do some damage. Let's go. Alright, they rolled 2. And their overcharge, their overcorrupt is pretty light. I want to reroll their die. Getting one of the enhance all would be very nice because all my purifies are 1s right now. So let's try this. So I can see that it rolled a 2 now. This is still here, so I'm assuming when it rolls the next turn it'll go back to being hidden. We will find out. Oh my, look at the damage. Although this one is healing for myself. So 1 to all enemies. When I doom them, or when I hit them here, they'll go to the outbreak. And I get 2 doom, which will buff this up to 4, and that'll take me down to drawing and having the virtue. So I'm not going to re-roll a die this turn. There's the outbreak. Let's go ahead and turn. And their die is hidden again. Cool. Alright, so we can utilize the Twilight Sigil, which will be an extra 3 damage this turn by converting a die. So we can get 3 from this conversion right here, which is 6, another 4. We're almost able to close out this fight. Let's draw a die. Let's see, so 6, 10, 14, and we are gonna clean up this fight right here. So Twilight Sigil from the conversion will do 3 purification. On top of 3 from that, 4. Very nice. I really like the lengths at which you can plan out your turn. And even though it's a die-based game, that was all set in stone. There was no risk on that one. It was just that is what was going to happen. But working with the dice and the random chance of that, really, really cool. So this will forge purify. Change a die from your hand into purify 1 action for the rest of the run. Interesting. Does that change just that face of a die? I'm tempted to take this just to try this out. This one does a lot of corruption to everyone. I'm still not versed enough in this game to know how good that is. Change up to 2 dice from your hand with any type of purify action with value 1 into draw 3 action until end of enemy's turn. And this one changes 1 die. So there's a lot of like taking your low rolls and making them better. And we do have a lot of things that roll 1. We had that really big play in the beginning using this enhanced die that we have. But as we're putting these other die in our deck, we're basically making the chances of getting those low rolls a lot less. Although having some self-corruption would be pretty good, because there's been a few times so far when it would have been beneficial to corrupt ourselves. Let's try a risky die. Alright, we have some Twilight Sigil mixed with Purification and Drawing. We also have, what is this? Forge Area Corrupt. Change a die from your hand into Area Corrupt 5 for the rest of the run. And Shield Boomerang. Apply 2 Light Shield to any target. If played, this die is returned to your draw pool instead of being discarded. Very cool. So no purification, just a nice buff, and we have a really high chance of getting it over and over. And this has a lot of good faces. 3 of them are the 2, only only one is 1 and then 2 corruption faces. This is very tempting though. I like that it's guaranteed Twilight Sigil, and that we get a draw, get more Twilight Sigil, or do an extra little bit of damage. I think I'm gonna take this. Alright, and now I'd like to show you guys the Sentinel shop. So spend star shards with Sentinels, acquire new Sentinels, or upgrade the ones you have. Minimum star shards cost 150, and we have 310. Hey there! So we have our friends Spiel and Mesa. These are Sentinels. They're helpers, which have their own dice and own corruption meter. They're independent of you, and therefore their dice are not considered part of your hand. Also, effects that affect only you won't affect Sentinels. You can have up to 2 Sentinels. If the corruption meter gets fully filled with corruption, they break and will be repaired only at the end of the battle. You can click on Show Dice to see their dice. So we have the Protostar, has a 6 value corruption meter. It doesn't break, makes it stronger, and it has a passive Vendetta. When receives corruption, apply 1 Empower to this creature, increases corruption received by 1. And Empower increases dice purification value by X. And then we have Solar Plexus. Love the artwork on these guys. A shiny ray of hope for everyone. And no passive. Let's see their die. So Solar Plexus is going to do some AoE of purification. And then Protostar has some low number purifies. But if we had a lot of AoE corruption going on, they're going to get this Vendetta thing going and get purification, and slowly those numbers on the die are going to go up and up. Now, after you buy a Sentinel, you can then upgrade a Sentinel. As far as I know, it costs 150. I don't know what subsequent levels cost. And as you increase their level, see that the health went up, and also the values of their die faces started to go up. These ones went to 2, more health, and they can go up to level 5, and you'll see that eventually this person even gets a new die face that'll do area damage. And let's say they had Empower 3, this will get up to 4 AoE purification. Very nice. And here, Solar Plexus actually gets a passive discharge. At the start of its turn, all targets receive 1 purification. So very cool stuff. I do like the AoE option. I don't know how often we're going to be able to corrupt our Sentinels and take use of Vendetta. At least with our deck currently. We don't have a lot of like AoE corruption, and we've taken a fair amount. We do have this here. This is self-corruption. And then we have a couple little corruptions here and there. And all the corruption values that we have for the most part are pretty low. I guess it's balanced. A lot of 3s on this page. And that would be half of Protostar's health. Very interesting stuff. For the consistency right now, I will take Solar Plexus. Burn that. And if we want to, we can upgrade to level 2, which will give no more HP, and upgrade 1 of the AoE die faces by 1. Can I see the map? So we have a mini boss fight, and then we're gonna have a forge or a Sentinel shop. I'd like to show the forge off so we can see a little bit of everything in this first run for today. So let's save our money and not upgrade, because this doesn't feel like a very big upgrade to me. Thank you, ladies. Alright, we have a normal battle, which will give 50 star shards and a chest, and a hard battle, which will give 100 star shards, a chest, and a star blessing. Star blessings is another map node that could spawn, and since we don't have one, I do want to show off what a star blessing is, and we're going to go for the hard battle. Let's do it. Alright, so we got 30 HP. Lots of dice getting thrown around, because now we also have our Sentinel die getting thrown. So, their Overcorruption is at 6, applies a Doom to themselves, so they'll start doing more damage. And a Grim Awakening applies 3 Doom to this enemy in 3 turns. So in 3 turns, we would like to have this battle pretty much close to being done. Also have Thick Skin, which decreases purification received by 1, and Thorn. When purification is received from others, purification source receives 1 corruption. So using the Sentinel AoE die, or any die really, die face, the Solar Plexus is going to take 1 corruption in return. And when we use our purifications on the Fallen Hermit, we will take corruption in return. And that being the case, I'm going to put some Twilight Sigil on there, corrupt ourselves, do some purification, receive 1 from the Thorns, and be able to put on some more purification. And then I don't know if converting and having Twilight Sigil do more damage is going to trigger Thorns. Let's find out. That did not. Very cool. So they're going to do 1 corruption to all. 3 corruption to a random target. That, in my opinion, is the worst die phase for them to roll. And yeah. I think we're off to the races here. So, let's do 1 to all. I'm not sure why they didn't take Thorns. A little confused by that. And yeah. 3 here. And then they'll do 1 to all, and we'll be able to draw another die next turn, and I do not need to roll. Thank you, though, for reminding me. Alright, we do have another die to convert. Very nice. Draw a new one. We have another reroll as well. And that will heal me. So let's start out by healing and rerolling our Sentinels die. Wait, which die is this? This could be better, but I don't really care for it. Yeah, let's start right here, and that's fine. Honestly, I want to convert this, so I'm going to leave that how it is. Alright, got the same thing, no big deal. We'll do 4 here. And then we can also go down to trigger our corruption, or virtue again, by the Thorns. Let's see, we'll do it this way. Ooh, look at that. And we got a nice 5 right there. Delicious. And I'm gonna purify. Let's see. I don't want the light shield on me. I guess it's fine. Oh yeah, anything less than 1 is worthless. Cool. And then we'll block that. Looking good. Alright, after this turn, they are going to get 3 Doom applied. Would be not very good. This is the reroll 1s. Not really worth it right now. So I think we're going to just convert this die. We will put the Twilight Sigil on there. More Twilight Sigil, and I get another draw. We'll get some better rolls here. And a better roll out of that. So let's take these. Alright, very nice. Going to draw. by utilizing the thorns. 3 corruption. I do not want that. Now, we have to use the corrupted die. And this is one of the first times in this run so far that it's been kind of for us to be in that situation. Could almost close out this fight, but I do want to play it a bit more safe. So we're going to purify ourselves, then use the corrupt all to draw another die. This gives us a reroll, which we can reroll our Sentinel's die. That gives me a heal. We'll do 3. I don't know if they get the Doom at the end of the enemy's turn. Okay, so they're only going to hit for 1. I want to draw. Oh! Well, we done did it, folks. We hit a very bad thing. Alright. So we lost a heart, but we did enable another draw, and I did not learn from my mistake. Drew another die, but it's a really good draw. Oh. Alright. None of this matters too much. Everything rolled very low. Can't really up these numbers all that much. Very nice. Oh, so we get a Star Blessing, gain a Star Blessing, a passive effect with lower power. So we get a enhanced die. This can enhance up to 2 die, which is pretty cool. We have a draw with Astral Rebound. The next die you play is returned to your draw pool instead of being discarded. That is very cool. This also has Unforgeable Corrupt, which will deal 3 corruption to any target and it can't be forged. So there was those die that change things for the entirety of a run. And then we have just a nice draw too. I kind of like the rebound and the draw. 2 draw 2s is quite nice. The enhance is kind of I don't have enough, I don't think, to make this really work. So let's try this out. And New Moon Ray. Deal 1 purification to an enemy for each safe die you have in your dice pool. So how can I see... so we have the starter die, which are white, safe die, which are in blue, the normal die, and the risk die. But we don't have enough to make purification, or New Moon Ray, worth it. Very cool though. Really like this concept. So that way you can even make safe deck be well worth it. The Doom thing is kind of worthless. We only have 1 risky die. This would make it 2. It's just not that great. We're gonna skip those. Star Blessings. Rightful Stone, neutral. At the start of each battle, apply 3 Safeguard to all enemies. Safeguard. At the start of your turn, apply X Light Shield to this creature, then decrease Safeguard by 1. That's cool, so that way they can't corrupt themselves, which is quite nice. Moon Eye is neutral. Whenever you or a Sentinel deal corruption to an enemy, apply 1 Light Shield to you and all Sentinels. I really like that, that's super cool. And Sun Eye, also neutral. Whenever you or a Sentinel deal corruption to an enemy, that enemy receives 5 purification. So this is really cool too. If we had that 1 AoE corruption, we hit an enemy, we're going to do 4 purification. We even have that hit to multiple enemies in the same turn, which is really, really nice. All these are really cool. I think that we don't roll that much corruption, and we're trying to make use of Twilight Sigil by converting corruption right now, so I'm not gonna go for either of these two and go for the Rightful Stone. That way, out the gate, enemies will not be able to corrupt themselves. And that'll help deal with overcorruption at the start of fights. Cool, so I do want to show off the forge, so we do have to go here, which will destroy a die from our dice pool. And I would like to get rid of one of these AoE die. I just feel like they're very weak. Don't care for them too much. They will be gone. I know we have the enhance die to make these better, but as you saw, since we've gotten that die, we've really only had the chance to make that work once so far. And we just added in more die that don't have any purification rolls on it. And we still have plenty of other 1 purifies in the deck that can still be utilized. So I'm going to get rid of one of these AoE centered ones. And we'll check out the forge. So, forge shop. Here we can duplicate a die, non-epic die from a dice pool, star shard costs, and depending on where I am, right now we're in Tainted Reef, it will cost 100. Every time you buy it, it will increase by 50. We can destroy a die, so we can thin the deck. We can shuffle all items available in the shop, review items that were sold, and then we have the real draw, which are the forge actions. So these are die faces. We can get refresh, which refreshes our virtues. We have a nice draw 2. Void Seek, which is choose a die from your discard to draw and roll. Then we have Purify 1 and the Astral Rebound ability. So these forge actions, I like the draw 2 and I like the refresh. In case we get it, let's try refresh, just because we don't have it in the deck just yet, and our virtues are pretty strong. We can basically get a free draw, and we can get free 4 purification to an enemy, and 2 rerolls, which is quite nice. So we will confirm this, and now we get to pick what face on what die this goes on. So I would like to go to our 1 risky die that we have. Where are you? Here we are. And take away one of the player corruptions. This is unforgeable, so this we can't choose. But I'm going to take away one of these, confirm this die face here, and boom. Now, that's what we have on that die. So our risky die is now kind of a balanced die, and has a really cool feature that we could roll into, which really amps up the deck building in this game. I absolutely love it. I'm interested to see if eventually there's some meta progression to get more star shards during a run. And alright, let's move on. So here we have a shrine. You can pray for Astrea's help, recover 1 heart, or sacrifice a heart for a boon, or gain star shards. So I'm going to sacrifice a heart for a star blessing. We'll go down to 1 heart. If we lose that 1 heart, we're going to lose the game. And here we go. We have Phase Satchel, neutral. At the first draw phase of each battle, draw 1 additional die. Very nice. Apprentice's card, neutral. Every 8 starter die you play deals 6 purification to all targets. This counter is kept between battles, which is wicked awesome. And Ritualistic Moonfeather. This is specific to Moony. Whenever an enemy gets overcorrupted, gain 4 Doom. So this is really cool for those Doom-centric dice that we weren't picking up. I am going to take the Apprentice's card for every 8 starter die we play, because we still have 7 of them in our deck, which is just over half. And we're going to be able to get 6 purification damage for free every so often during our battles. Boss Battle, Sanctuary Parasite. Final challenge of Tainted Reef. Yields 150 star shards, a sentinel, an epic die, and a black hole blessing. And I recover all hearts. Very, very cool. Let's get in there. Alright. So, we have Vengeful Stab. Activate this enemy die every 6 times you deal purification to it. So right now their die would do 4 damage. Every 4 overcorruption, they're going to get 1 doom. And currently, we have that little safeguard thing on them. Let's get it going. I could reroll this, try to get a 3 or a 1. Getting the Twilight Sigil would be quite nice. I don't have a way to corrupt myself down really right now. I could use this to corrupt myself twice, get the reroll on there, and then I could reroll this and their die. So they also have minimized. Next X purifications dealt by you are going to be decreased to 1. I kind of like going that route. Hey, we hit the 1. So they got 4 corruption coming our way, which is quite a lot. Alright, so that only affects us, does not affect our Sentinel, which they just explained to us. Alright, let's do some big damage on turn 1. And also, that 1 purification from our Sentinel did not trigger the Vengeful Stab, so we still have 4 more times instead of 3 more. Cool. On we go. They're gonna hit us for 4. We're gonna be able to draw and die next turn, and do 4 free purification. Oh my. So, change 2 die from your hand with any type of Purify action with value 1 and a draw 3. Sadly, we don't have any of that. We're gonna have to redo these 2 die and try to corrupt or convert this one. I'm gonna draw a die first. Very much lucked out there. Hitting that on the 3 corruption would have been really bad. So we're in 1 AoE from the boss. Put these in and try to get some better faces. Alright, so we're gonna draw 1 and then Astral Rebound the next die that we play. Now, dice from my hand. Got you. So currently this is actually worthless. I can't even pick up the die. It's unable to be used. So, also interesting to note is that I could use this corrupted die on my Sentinel if I needed a way to offload corruption. So let's draw a die. And then we'll also have Astral Rebound. Now this is interesting. Into a draw 3 until end of enemy's turn. So I can use this to draw 3 with the light shield. And now we got a turn. Oh, and we hit the refresh. Hand limit is 8. Good to know. We can reroll 2 die. Alright, this got really, really spicy. I think we're going to convert here. We can re-roll these 2 with this and get a Purify on ourselves. Oh, look at that. Hitting for 6 is huge. Now, in 3 more, this is gonna proc, which will knock us down 1. I think I'm gonna do refresh. Draw. We got some Twilight Sigil. Very nice. And now we can also convert again as well, which is very cool. Currently there's nothing to convert. I could try to re-roll die to get something to convert, but that is okay. We'll just get the Twilight Sigil on there. Maybe 6. And then hit me for 1. Definitely did 1, 2. I'm a little confused. Activate this enemy's die. Every 6 times you deal purification to it, remaining 6. Oh, because I had 1 light shield on me, I think, from earlier in my turn. So I didn't take the 1. I was expecting to draw another, which is what was confusing to me there. We are going to take another 1, and we can do 6 more. I think we're going to play this a little safer, because it's a boss battle, and we are on our last heart, and go this route. Alright. Have a great conversion. Trying to see what the rerolls are looking like. Almost tempted to not convert and hurt myself. Draw another die and do 4. And then I could maybe convert the die that I draw. However, they're going to be hitting for 4. Well, this is the worst roll. So let's get some rerolls in here. Nice. We got 2 Twilight Sigil, 3 Corruption, and 1 Minimize. That's fine. Do that there. I guess we could just do some safe damage. What's this? All enemies. Got you. Convert. 4 damage from the Twilight Sigil. Alright, and we're almost done. Our first boss battle. So the next purification that we do is only going to do 1, no matter what. So one of our low rolls is actually a good burn, if you want to think about it that way. The enhanced die is kind of worthless right now, and I don't have anything to convert, which kind of sucks, because the conversion after applying this Twilight Sigil would do quite a lot. Next purification decreased to 1. Alright, and then the Vengeful Stab's going to go off in 2 as well. I can re-roll this. That might be the play. Let's re-roll the Enhance, and we're going to actually hope for a Corruption. And for the heck of it, we'll re-roll this too. This is enhanced from any target. Beautiful. So this is the end of this match. There's 6 damage there, 4 there. Oh. How did I confuse myself? I thought that was doing 4. Well, let's protect our selves, because I don't know if this is going to do the damage to me. Last time, or no, it's going to do their die, it's just going to do 1 damage. So we're actually fine. Yep, we're fine, and then 2. Alright, cool. Small little misplay, I'm not sure what I did there. But we won, and we got all sorts of stuff. 150 shards. We got a new Sentinel. An epic die, Black Hole Blessing. A powerful passive effect with a drawback. And recover all our hearts. Cool, so the new Sentinels. We have Starry, appointed partner to purify by your side. We have Dice Drive, a hard dice drive. And Astrolabe, a resourceful buddy. Let's show the die. So Starry is doing some good damage. Eventually they will get 1 Serenity, increases purification received by X, very cool. Dice Drive, we have some rerolls, or we have some draws, I'm sorry. Eventually a lot of drawing, and then Healbot. At the end of your turn, you receive 1 purification. Then a random enemy receives 1 purification for each purification that exceeded your corruption meter. Very interesting. So I'm assuming by you, it's talking about Healbot. And because Healbot, even at max level, only has 4 meter purification, you can basically dump all your purification onto them if the enemy had thorns, for instance. And then this gives you a great way to deal extra damage to an enemy. Astrolabe has Inventive. Discard 1 die from your hand. If you do, deal 3 purification to a random enemy X times, where X is the amount of die discarded. I'm assuming that these numbers are going up. And eventually you can get 3, so you can get 9 damage with discards, but then you also don't get to use those die. However, if those die were all corrupted, for instance, and it was a bad move to use them, this is another really cool option. So really cool Sentinels here, really cool options. I'm not sure what would be the best for us right now to go along with Solar Plexus, who's doing mainly AoE damage. And all targets receive 1, so a lot of AoE stuff here. Let's go with the Healy guy, who eventually gets Healbot at 2nd level. Yeah, that sounds cool. Dice Drive it is, confirmed. And an epic die. We have Baleful Hoot. Deal 3 purification to any target and gain 3 doom. We have Scholar Charge. Deal 1 purification to any target. Deal 4 additional for each die enhanced during this battle. That could be pretty good for us. And Shadow Mastery. Gain 3 doom. Deal 3 purification to all targets for each corrupt action of any type in your hand. Very cool. I love that they have all these options to play into the corruption and doom. Very, very cool stuff. I will take the Scholar Charge, because we already have some enhance going on in the deck, and we'll probably move more towards that. And the Black Hole Blessings. I've never seen these before. Silent Scarf, neutral. Draw 1 additional die per turn. At the end of each battle, gain 1 silenced, in which all your virtues are disabled for X turns. So basically on the first turn of every subsequent battle, would not be able to use virtues on that first turn. Shaded Talisman, draw additional die per turn. At the start of each battle, apply Obscure to all enemies. After the first turn of each battle, you won't be able to see the overcorruption meter. Oh my. That doesn't seem too bad. I feel like you can keep track of that. I mean, even pen and paper, and you can keep track of that no problem. And we also have Obsidian Shackles, neutral. Increase purification received by enemies by 1. You deal 1 less purification to you and Sentinels, so a little bit less healing for ourselves. That actually seems like it'd be pretty bad for us right now, especially because so it's only I deal less. It doesn't say that the Sentinels deal less as well, so maybe that's not as bad as I am reading. And you basically get that Serenity, technically debuff on all enemies all the time, which is pretty nice. This seems really cool. I like Silent Scarf. I feel like this is a non-issue, not being able to see the overcorruption meter, but there might be more in-depth mechanics that we haven't seen yet. So, gonna go with Silent Scarf. I feel like being silenced on the first turn for virtues is not that bad. So the big bad boy is that we won't have 2 rerolls on the first turn. I feel like we can make do with that. Alright! And then we go to the Astropolis Ruins. Map opens up, have a lot more options. And we're gonna have a normal battle after some options. Broken Shrine, here you can pray for Astrea's help but can't recover a heart. Sacrifice a heart for a boon or gain star shards. Interesting. Have a mini boss fight. A red chest where we can get 2 risky die. 2 dice, 2 safe. Alright, really cool stuff, and eventually we'll fight the Corrupted Assembler. Very cool. So, that was the first look at Astrea, and I hope that you all enjoyed. Head back to the main menu here. Really fun game. I think that the deeper that we get into this and more that we unlock, it's going to be really cool, a lot of fun, a lot of options of things to do. And there's the 6 different characters, and those characters are going to be leveling up, and there's going to be some little meta progression as well. Very cool. Very excited to get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. Have a good one. Take care.